We've all heard the urban legend. You stand in front of a mirror in a pitch-black room, chant her name 3 times, and a ghost appears. But the real-life Mary Tudor wasn't a ghost. She was a living queen of England who sent hundreds of her own people to be burned alive. How did a beloved, innocent princess grow up to lead one of the most violent religious purges in British history? To understand the woman she became, we have to look at the destruction of her youth. Mary was the eldest daughter of King Henry VIII. For the first few years of her life, she was a pampered, adored royal child. That stability ended when her father became obsessed with producing a male heir. To marry a new queen, Henry needed a divorce. When the Pope refused, Henry severed ties with the Catholic Church. He declared his own daughter an illegitimate bastard and stripped her of her royal title. Barred from seeing her mother and isolated from court, Mary watched as her father executed his subsequent wives and dismantled her religion. Through the years of abandonment, she clung to the one thing she had left, her strict Catholic faith. Years of powerlessness turned her faith into a weapon. If she ever gained control, she would have the means to systematically undo everything her father had built. In 1553, Mary's younger half-brother, the king, suddenly died, leaving a massive power vacuum. The men in power tried to bypass Mary by placing a teenage Protestant, Lady Jane Grey, on the throne instead. Mary didn't retreat. She rallied a massive army of commoners who saw her as the true, legitimate heir to the English crown. She marched on London and took the crown without shedding a drop of blood in battle. The political rivals who tried to bypass her were swiftly condemned. 17-year-old Lady Jane Grey was taken to the Tower of London and forced onto the executioner's block. The abused, isolated princess had finally won absolute power, but that triumph would quickly turn toward the fires of Smithfield. Once she wore the crown, Mary focused entirely on her childhood goal, forcing England back to the Catholic faith, regardless of the human cost. She married the King of Spain, triggering widespread rebellions that left Mary consumed by paranoia. To enforce her will, she revived ancient heresy laws. Anyone who refused to abandon them Protestant beliefs and convert was now a criminal. This etching shows the reality of her enforcement at Old Smithfield. Mary ordered ordinary villagers tied to wooden posts and burned alive before massive crowds. In just 3 years, nearly 300 people were sent to the flames. Her violent crusade to save the souls of her subjects achieved the exact opposite of what she intended. It earned her the darkest nickname in British history, Bloody Mary. Mary Tudor died at the age of 42, sick, heartbroken, and deeply unpopular. Upon her death, the crown passed immediately to her Protestant half-sister, Elizabeth. Elizabeth instantly dismantled the Catholic state that Mary had spent her entire reign trying to build. Mary's reign stands as a case study in what happens when severe childhood trauma is combined with absolute authority. Was Mary Tudor a heartless monster, or simply a broken woman desperately trying to fix a world that had abandoned her?